Now, on the one-year anniversary of Russia's war in Ukraine, India abstained from voting on the United Nations resolution against Moscow calling for an end to the war. India's permanent representative to the United Nations, Ruchira Kamboj, said that the resolution wasn't enough to achieve the goal of lasting peace. However, India says that it will always call for dialogue and diplomacy as the only viable way out of this conflict.
Mr. President, India's approach to the Ukraine conflict will continue to be people-centric. We are providing both humanitarian assistance to Ukraine and economic support to some of our neighbors in the global south under economic distress, even as they stare at the escalating costs of food, of fuel and fertilizers, which has been a consequential fallout of the ongoing conflict.
Last September, at a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi had said that today's era is not of war. Meanwhile, Indian Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar has said that the United Nations is like a company that no longer reflects the reality of the world. He said that it is like shareholders have changed in the UN, but the management is not. So there are new shareholders who want fair management, but old guys don't want to let go. This comes as the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that India was likely on a trajectory away from alignment with Russia. Blinken maintains that India has had long-standing relationship with Russia that is challenging to break off in one fell swoop. Amid the tensions, the US Secretary of State is due to visit India next week to attend the G20 foreign ministers meet. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov will also attend the meet. Talking about India and its G20 presidency, French Foreign Minister Catherine Colonna said France is hoping that New Delhi makes it possible to bring the international community to look at the right responses on Ukraine while trying to bring people into line with the international law. India has faced pressure from the West to distance itself from Moscow after Russia invaded Ukraine last year. New Delhi has so far resisted that pressure, citing its long-standing ties with Russia and its economic and oil needs. Russia has been India's largest weapons supplier since the Soviet Union days. However, Washington in recent years has looked to woo New Delhi. For more on this, we're now being joined by our principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibal. Siddhant, do you think of the comments made by the US Secretary of State regarding India's role in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, and how important do you assess these are?
Comments made by US Secretary of State Antony Blinken are significant given that the West has been keen that India uses its influence when it comes to Moscow. India, of course, have had close relationship with Russia, a relationship that continues, and West sees India playing an influential role when it comes to the entire conflict. The comments, of course, highlights how India can essentially tell Moscow not to use any nuclear weapons. Now, these comments are the comments of Antony Blinken, and we know that several times the West has been saying that Russia might use nuclear weapons, something that Russia has denied. But essentially, it is the importance of India that is understood from these comments. Previously as well, we have seen how other Western leaders have been saying that India can play an important role. Recently, we saw the CIA chief saying that the Indian Prime Minister played a crucial role when it comes to making sure that Russia does not indulges any use of nuclear weapons. But by and large, important comments coming just ahead of the G20 foreign ministers meet here in Delhi, and of course at a time when the 1 year of the conflict is being marked.
Right, Siddhant. In fact, I was just going to come to that. These comments have come just as the war has completed a year. Do you think timing is important here?
Well, yes, the timing of the comments are significant given the 1 year of the conflict, but also the visit of the US Secretary of State Blinken to Delhi. He comes to Delhi next week for the foreign ministers meeting, where the G20 foreign ministers of other countries will also be present, including the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. Now, in Delhi, Blinken is not only going to participate in the foreign ministers meeting, but also expected to take part in the Quad foreign ministers meeting as well, expected to take place on 3rd of March. But essentially, these comments are duly noted here in Delhi. In the past as well, we have seen how the US side has been mentioning the importance and the role India can play in making sure that the Russia-Ukraine conflict can be resolved.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.